Hey guys, we're on day 15. We are almost halfway through, and you should have all kinds of things now prepared to go in your backpack, because that is the stuff that's going to be so important. The physical stuff, the psychological stuff, the personal stuff, those three pockets are so critical in ensuring that when we respond to a disaster, we have the things that we need in order to stabilize ourselves, whether we're evacuating, sheltering in place, or locking down. So today we're going to move on to the fourth pocket, and that pocket is papers. And there's definitely a hierarchy of papers you're going to need immediately, and ones that you will need in the near term, and some you will need in the long term. Depending upon your circumstances, that will change, but there are certain ones that for certain you're going to need right away. Now, before I get into that, I want to talk to you a little bit, because there needs to be two kinds of papers in your backpack. There needs to be electronic papers and hard copy papers. So when I talk about electronic papers, let's be honest, you're not going to leave your house without your laptop, right? So, and I would never ask you to do that. So when a disaster occurs, if you're going to take your laptop, which we all know if you can do it, you're going to do it, just quickly put it together and have a place in your disaster backpack for your laptop. In addition, your critical documents, some of the papers I'm going to discuss with you in a minute, absolutely 100% without question, they should be on a thumb drive. So put them on a thumb drive so that you can quickly pull it out if you have to. That is your electronic backup as much as possible. Try not to use external hard drives. They're too large. They take up way too much room. If you have to have a tablet, like if you decide you're going to have one for entertainment, I think that that's great, but understand that you can't continually throw lots of electronics in there. The backpack will get filled up way too quickly. So I recommend two different kinds. So if you have a laptop and a thumb drive, it's easy because then you can fit your tablet for something else. And in the disaster backpack I have, there actually is a place for a tablet as well as a laptop, as well as my phone, and a place for my critical documents on a thumb drive, which is a committed thumb drive. There's nothing else on it. And in fact, when you do a thumb drive, don't have anything else on it. So you should have an electronic copy. There are certain documents that should always be in hard copy as well. And some of those ones are going to be things you're going to need immediately. So basically what's going to happen is in the immediate term, so things you're going to need immediately are going to be ones I'm going to say you should have hard copies for. For the ones you need long term, you should have documents that are digitized. You don't have to carry every single document on you. I disagree with that advice. I always have. I've just felt as though it's just not necessary and it's too hard for people to carry, and it fills the backpack up way too quickly. So it's easier to have digital documents that are long-term, hard copy for short-term. So let's talk about the short-term ones, because that's the ones that we're talking about today, day 15. So tomorrow's video, day 16, I'll talk about the long-term documents you need to have on you. But what do you need to have with you immediately if you have to evacuate, shelter in place, and locking down? The first one you should have, and every single person that is listening to this should have this: identification. Your identification should be on you at all times. You should have a backup one that is expired that should go into your disaster backpack, whether it is an old passport, which is what I actually say you should really have, but also an old driver's license as well. One of the issues is that we've had the real ID requirements. Those have taken shape in many states, and the requirements are mandated because of the additional security attached to them. So I say if you keep an extra passport, if you have a passport, having an old outdated passport put in your disaster backpack eliminates this problem altogether. But having an old driver's license is fine as well. Something with an official identification on it, not a library card, not those other insurance cards, although those are important too. You need to make sure that you have identification that's specific to you with your real name on it. Other kinds of documents you're going to need in the immediate term are things like financial documents. So what you should probably have in there is a hard copy of a statement from one of your months from your primary bank account, so your bank account numbers are on there. Again, you can fold it up. There actually is a place in my disaster backpack that's hidden so no one can find it, and it is hidden in there, and that's where I can access that information if I absolutely have to, if I don't have anything else available. You should also have your insurance information, so have your insurance card. If you have an expired insurance card, assuming it's from the same company, you can actually put that in there as well. You should have that instantly available to you. You should also have an emergency credit card that can go into the backpack that is not used for anything except disasters. I have an emergency credit card like this. The other thing you can put in here, which I suggest all the time that people should have, is any prescription cards. If you have a prescription card that you have to have, stick the extra prescription card in there. Assuming it has the same number and it's with the same company, the same provider, you can reuse it even if you have to. So no matter what, that's always available to you. Those are the things you should absolutely have at all times with you. The other hard copies that you don't have to put in there if you have a passport is a birth certificate. If you don't have a passport in there, you might have to put a birth certificate in there. That's going to be important. Don't put real cards into the disaster backpack. That is not a good idea. So what I want you to do is just keep maintaining just those basic set of documents. And the reason why those are important are because then you have access to some money, you have ways to go places. If you have to go to a shelter, you have identification. You can get, if you have ID, there's a lot of services you can suddenly access that otherwise you potentially can't. And there's one other thing I'd like you to put in your disaster backpack. You can hide it. You can actually put it in a little clip so no one can see it, is money. I suggest for you $80. Put $80 in that backpack. I have $80 in my disaster backpack at all times, and I do that because no matter what happens, if the card doesn't work, if something's going on, that cash will allow me to move around where I need to go. It'll get me some food if I have to buy something or drink or whatever I have to do. There's ways that I can use that $80 that will, again, it's the backup of the backup. So it gives me a place where that is like, no matter what happens, that is always available. I have the purchasing power I need wherever I go and whatever disaster that I face. So those are the kinds of documents you're going to need in the immediate term. Tomorrow we're going to talk about things you're going to need in the long term. So more digitized style documents, those are the ones that are going to be there. This is Disaster Patrick, and remember, prepare for a disaster and you'll never experience one.